Tonight's episode of NYPD.
Hello. Hello and good morning. Do you know what your mother's up to tonight? What's your dad doing? Will they be sitting at home watching television, minding the grandchildren? Or perhaps they won't. They'll be out at a disco, chatting up younger men and women. Or maybe they'll be off bungee jumping, training for the marathon. Which would you prefer that they did? Should you be growing old gracefully, do you think, Sandy?
No.
Why not?
Because I just think life is for living and enjoying.
And are you doing that, living it and enjoying it?
Yeah, definitely.
How?
Partying, going out, clubbing, doing all the things I never did. I stayed at home, brought up a family, and now I can do what I want to do.
How old are you?
49.
You're 49,
Yeah.
and your kids are how old?
29 and 25.
And now you're doing all the things you say you couldn't do when you were younger. And you mentioned clubbing.
Yeah.
What do you do when you go clubbing?
I live in Brighton, so I club on the gay scene. So I usually go clubbing to about 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then go back drinking in the bars till about 4 or 5.
How often do you do that?
Well,
As often as you can.
at weekends, because
At
I work in the
weekend.
week.
And what else do you, so you'll say you've started living now?
Yeah.
Really live. And
Yeah.
you're dressing young too.
Not in the daytime when I go to work, but when I go out, yeah.
So the way you're dressed now would be what? A clubbing outfit. Can you show it us? Do you mind standing up for us?
Not at all.
Because I gather all the workmen have been ogling you. Do us a twirl! Do us a twirl! Can you do us a twirl? Oh, you're wired up, you can't do us a twirl. OK, but now you're quite clear that is for you. You don't look your age.
Thank you.
But you're not intending... Oh, I was going to ask a question. I was going to say you're not acting your... Are you acting your age?
No.
You're not?
No.
Oh, so you don't think that's the way a 49-year-old woman should look or act?
I don't think it's how I should look or act. No, I mean, age is just a number.
Are you acting at your age, is what I was saying?
Am I acting 49? No.
You're not?
No.
What age are you acting?
No age, I'm just being me.
Should you act your age?
I think people should do what they want to do. But I have a friend who's also 49 who goes out clubbing with me and my friends. He likes to wear tight jeans, tight tops, but he doesn't act his age. He acts as though he's a 20-year-old, and that's kind of embarrassing for him. It doesn't bother us, but it's kind of embarrassing for him.
Well, he's obviously not embarrassed if he's acting like that. You mean you're embarrassed?
Well, no.
What you mean is you're embarrassed for him. He's not embarrassed.
No, OK, he's not embarrassed, but everyone else looking at him, he's just embarrassing himself because he looks silly.
Is Sandy embarrassing herself?
No, she looks fabulous.
Oh, right. So if you met her in a club, what would you think?
Take her out.
We know what you'd do, Joe. What would you do, Joe?
Take her out and get her tiddled up.
Get her drunk?
And ask her father afterwards.
And how's your father afterwards? Where'd you come from, Joe?
I'm a Yorkshireman.
You're a Yorkshireman, yeah. Can you tell? Right, so, and how old are you, Joe?
I'm 74 years of age.
And you go night clubbing and a bit of how's your chatting up and how's your father?
Yeah.
At 79?
If I can get it cheap.
Should you be doing that at 79?
If you got the look, you're all right.
And you managed to go, John. You go out, so you'd be meeting somebody like Sandy and you'd be like chatting her up, buying her a drink.
I ain't getting it.
Yeah, never mind that. And how often do you... So you go night clubbing?
I go nightclubbing 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
I go out at 8:30
Yeah.
to 11 o'clock. I go to be home by 15:15 because I look after a poorly wife.
The poorly wife?
Yeah.
The poorly wife? He's at home while you're out. How's your father in?
Yes, but I don't get that.
Oh, right.
I only go for my discoing.
You go for... What you dance, do you?
You
Go on, then.
Oh, I haven't got any music, have I?
Oh, you can't do it without the music.
I've got to have music or a bird knocking around.
To get you going. Right. But you say, so your wife's at home, what are you on a curfew or something? You have to be
Well,
back at...
I go, see, you don't say this phone at night time during the day.
Right.
Right. So I have 2 or 3 hours out at night time,
Yeah.
just for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I might have a drink or two.
Right, and a dance.
I might get a drink, a drunk.
A dance.
Oh, and a dance. I'm a very
What are you, Joe?
74.
No, I mean, what are you? What was that then?
I'm very quick on my feet.
He hasn't
what he said?
hasn't told you yet, Robert. He told me earlier on his wife's only 19.
Hey, she's older than you, mate. Yeah, she'll do you some good if she was alive.
No, I think, Sandy, I think you look terrific, yeah? And congratulations, and as long as what you're doing doesn't hurt anybody, fine. Actually, I don't see why they've made a big number that you're 40... What was it, 40?
49.
49. What's the big number
No,
about
not 50
that?
till next year.
Oh, so what's the big number that you're 50 to have to make an issue out? You know, this
What
girl's
do you mean
doing
that?
this.
Who's that? You're talking about
The
me?
public, no, the public in general, the public attitude
Yeah.
to age. Why? 50, 60, what's the
You
difference?
see, you've got to enjoy life.
I agree.
And as long as you can enjoy life, going out and doing what you want to do, that's all well and good. But you don't say anything to other people. You've got to do it yourself. And you don't get anywhere if you don't do it yourself.
I'm not personally decrying Sandy. She does look nice, but I could never dress like that. It's because when you get to a certain age, I feel that you must dress accordingly. You don't have to look matronly, but I think that there's a way of dressing when you get to your middle years, which is more becoming for someone like me.
How is your middle years? How old are you? Do you mind?
67.
You're 67. Yeah. It should be more becoming.
What's becoming? I mean,
Well,
I said
just
I don't
think-
go out like this in the daytime. I'm a PA, I go to work in a suit. But when I go out in the evening, then I go to outrageous clubs, so I dress outrageously. It's for me to... I can be the me that I can't be in the daytime. In the daytime, I conform to society. When I
guess
go out
that,
and do my leisure time, I can be
yes.
who I want to be. And if it's this, then it's this.
You do look nice, but I could never wear an outfit like that.
Ah, so you're saying you haven't got the courage.
I haven't got the
But if you got the courage, would you be wearing...
No.
I wonder whether husband would like you to wear a dress like that. Come over, husband. Come over. You're husband, aren't you? Are you husband? Yeah. Yeah, come on. Come sit here. Quick. Because I need you there for something else in a minute. I'm telling him to run, you see. You've got to forget wherever... Just sit on the edge there, my friend. Yeah. Would you like your wife to be looking like Sandy? If your wife had got the courage, if she'd got the courage.
Now, I'm not looking at the clothes. If my wife spread her legs like that, I'd love it. My wife's a little conservative and dresses conservatively, as you can see.
You better be careful what you're saying about your wife.
But she's a good-looking girl.
She's lovely.
And I'm much older than my wife.
Oh, really?
I'm a 1921 guy.
How old are you then?
You work it out.
I can't. I'm only 21. Oh, you're as old as my mum. You're a year older than my mum.
Well,
right. Okay. So
October
you're
25th,
78.
I'll be 78 next
Right.
month.
You're 78, and so you got a younger woman. But you're saying you. What if your wife?
Very nice-looking young lady. So who the hell cares about clothes?
What do you feel about him then?
Well, he does like the young
He
ladies.
does like the young
I
ladies.
agree that age is a number. It's how you feel. This is the important part.
She's got a great
Age is only a
pair.
number.
You're saying she's got a great pair of legs. She has got a great
right.
pair. How did you
Now
notice?
stand up now. Mind, I like the suspender belts mostly. But
I didn't notice that.
today they wear tight so you don't get it.
Okay, you go back to your seat, my friend. Because I need you for it for later on. Thanks. What do you feel? What the young people feel?
Well, I don't personally have a problem with it, but talking to other people, it seems that she's kind of indulging in a fantasy world, which is fine, everybody does it, but you might not realise that other people aren't being sympathetic to what you're doing. And you say this is like kind of an ego boost, sorry, going out and doing all this and behaving outrageously, but what if at the end of the night someone acts really aggressively to you because they can't understand what you're doing?
Why do they have to understand me? I learned a long time ago, when I stopped worrying and caring what other people thought and said about me, I started living my life.
No matter how much people say they don't care, it still hurts when people say things to you.
It doesn't. Why should it? This is my life, and I'm not causing any harm or anything to anybody else. This is me. I'm doing what I want to do.
And no, and I'm saying that's great.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, a point of view that some people might be... And there are people who would get aggressive in situations
Are
like
you saying
that.
she's dressed provocatively?
No, not in the sense that people might try and take advantage in
Are you
that
saying
way.
aggressive? Why should people be aggressive to us then?
Because if people don't understand, then they react in weird ways.
That's not my problem, is it?
No, I must disagree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, this young lady, the only thing I can see that's wrong in the dress
This young
is much
lady.
too long. It's obviously about 5 or 6 inches too long.
Where do we get these men from?
No, really.
Look at these applauding. You've got to sort him out.
No, she's in a town like Brighton.
He's your husband. He's with
She's in
you.
a town like the Brighton, where obviously, you know, the men are going around taking or practically drinking Viagra every night, you know. So obviously, you know, they've got the energy and they want to utilise the energy. And they go to a nice dance and see a nice person like your good self, and they want to have a good dance, you know, and then they want to carry on, you know, and everything takes place, you know. But if you weren't dressed as you are, obviously there wouldn't be any slight turn on. And you feel young yourself. I mean, 49, very, very young, really, relatively, you know. So you've done everything correctly. You've got all the children settled down, and you feel like having a good time, you know.
And you think that's fine?
I think that's excellent,
And
yeah.
is that what you
as
did
far
too?
as, yes, and as far as the men are concerned, I mean, let's be very honest, they've got protection in every possible direction. You've got sweet Durex, banana Durex, strawberry Durex, you've got everything else. So everything's safe, you know, there's no problem there, you know.
Will you carry them around with you?
Well, no, I always keep them for security.
For security?
In my right-hand pocket, yeah.
In your right-hand pocket?
I like to feel, you know, I was in
You're
the
safe.
pharmacy business. I feel more comfortable, you know, because obviously this business about the morning after pill. Have you heard about it, Robert? The morning
No.
after pill. If you have sex without covering your
So you,
yeah,
you carry the morning after pill with you as well, do you?
Occasionally, just in case, I'm not 100%. Take that morning after pill. But, you know, you've got everything going for you now.
Yeah, but that's one of the benefits of getting older. You don't need the morning after pill.
No. You see, the only problem with things like Viagra is if you take a Viagra, unfortunately, you've got to take it an hour and a quarter before you have sex, right? Which is logical. But say the girlfriend doesn't turn up within an hour and a quarter. You wasted the £10 that you paid on the Viagra has gone down the drain through your system, and you get extra palpitations, which you don't need, you see. But seriously, you're doing the right. Did you want to ask me a question?
No, we just want to listen to you. Carry on.
Yeah. No, but what were you going to say to me? You were going to say
Sandy
something.
was going to say
I said
something.
just now I said, but you don't need the Viagra.
No, you don't need the Viagra.
Sorry,
Oh, you do need the Viagra.
No, you don't need the morning after pill. That's the beauty of
No, you
age.
said he doesn't need the contraceptive at your age.
I don't need it.
Yeah. So what does
just
that
in
say
case.
about him and the age
I
of the
don't
women?
need a contraceptive.
What does
at
it
my
say
age.
about him?
Yeah, you do for safe sex, but I mean...
He says he's looking for younger women.
Yeah, but I just go out and party. Nobody said anything about going home and having sex.
No, but if it does come to that, not to yourself specifically, but other women, obviously, you know, you've got so many choices here. You've got the man can use a Durex, he feels safe. If
Don't
he
go
doesn't,
through it
if
all.
the girl,
Don't go through it all.
No.
How old are you? How old are you?
Over 50, because I have to tell them I'm over 50.
Well, you have to tell who you're over.
Well, whoever I'm with, you know.
Well, how old are you?
Well, if I tell them my true age, obviously, there's just a...
Whisper.
Yeah, no.
You don't want me to say it?
No. There might be people
It's
listening.
just a bit younger than you.
Just like,
Just
very
a bit
well
younger
put,
than you.
Very well
Just a
put.
bit
Very
young.
well put.
I tell you, he's a lot older. How old do you think he is? I'm not going to get it out. Go on, because he doesn't want me to. But how many?
70.
All right, then.
Well,
What do you think about all this?
She's
No, it's not. Well, she's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
So would you be embarrassed if you were with Sandy?
Certainly not. Would she be embarrassed?
With you?
With me?
I'm sure she wouldn't, because she's a nice, polite lady.
I'll see you
she wouldn't
after.
say. I thought you got your eye on somebody else.
Well, Penny Smith?
Yeah.
Yes, well.
Penny Smith on GMTV.
Yes, she hasn't been on the last few days. It's
Is she not?
no.
Is that's the woman
It's
you'd like to
sickening.
meet, is it?
Definitely.
That's
Well,
your
you've got
kind of... No, we haven't got it. I was only just told that, but that's somebody you... That's the kind of woman you'd be like to
Yes,
go out and meet at
yes,
clubbing.
yeah.
So you're still
But
looking
I'm
for...
quite happy now looking, you know.
Are you still looking for romance?
Oh, definitely.
For love? Romance, sex?
Well, the rest comes after, doesn't it?
Does it...
Yes,
That's
you've
all
got to
part
start
of...
with the romance first.
How old are you?
70.
You're 70.
Yeah.
So even at... Listen to me, I'm using those...
I've got to be careful what I
Has he been chatting you up?
say. Not yet.
Yes. Oh, he has. What's he been saying to you?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a lot yet.
But he's got a nice uniform anyway, hasn't he? Yes, my love.
I don't think it matters what you wear. I think perhaps it matters more the way you behave while you're wearing it. And that perhaps shows people the type of person you are. That's why this lady doesn't have any problems.
I was just going to say, I just don't think people would be quite so warming towards that if she was overweight, wasn't quite as pretty.
What's interesting, though, I'm trying to get comfortable so I can see you, both you and Sandy. It's interesting, it's the men. The men have all said, "Core, no problem. I'd like to be out with her. Ah, she's got a great pair of legs," and all the rest of it. It's the women have been more critical, whether it be the younger one here who says things, and my friend's wife.
I do think she looks great, I do.
You do?
Yeah, she looks
great. If it was your mum?
I'd go discoing with her if she was my mum, yeah.
If it was your mum?
Well, my mum's dead.
No, but if it was your mum, if you were young...
If it was my daughter-in-law, perhaps I'd feel a little more embarrassed. I hope not.
How old is your daughter-in-law?
34.
So you feel embarrassed about your daughter-in-law at 34 being dressed in that kind of youthful...
She does, you know, wear that length skirt, and she looks terrific.
The family, is that the part of the problem here? It's the family that finds these older people, Ian, acting young or wild or, in your case, stupid, embarrassing. I shall add the Colonel down to you.
I have come for him. We are friends now, yeah?
No. Thinks he's Freddie Starr.
Can I just say something to this lady?
You could say what you like.
I think you're beautiful.
Thank you.
You?
Don't stand for anything you don't want to stand for.
You go out and do whatever you want.
I will. And I do.
Every time.
I do.
Don't take no notice of your kids, your family.
My kids are usually there.
Or the police.
Haven't got that far yet.
You'll have a nice time.
I will do.
This lady over here, can I just come to this lady? Please? Hello? Hello? I thought it was Margaret Thatcher. How old are you?
67.
67?
Yes.
That young girl down there is 47.
49.
49, sorry.
Yes.
You wouldn't ever go out and dress like the way she do. What's wrong with the dress?
She said what's wrong with her dress.
No.
She wants her to be... Come here, sit down.
Stop.
Sit down, you bloody... Give us a hand, will you? Give us a hand. Come on, get him. No, come here.
I'm going to get you.
Be careful, Ian. Ian, come and sit down. Sit down, I want to talk to you. He's all wild all the time. Do you find him embarrassing, Anthony?
A bit, yeah.
A bit? Oh, just a little bit?
Well...
Does he act like this all the time?
It's mainly his job to do this, because he's an entertainer, pubs and clubs, but down the streets, where I could be walking to the shop with him, he'd be doing stupid things like this, or he'd be like, say some females my age walking down the street, and he'll embarrass me.
Yeah.
Where...
How will he embarrass you? What would he do?
Wolf whistling to him, saying, "Oh, they're all right for you, aren't they, son?" And shouting it so they hear them saying it, and they're looking at me.
And that is embarrassing.
Very embarrassing.
Yeah.
If you are there at the time, yeah.
Do you find your aunt embarrassing too in the same way?
Sometimes.
Do you?
Sometimes.
Why, Kathy?
Well,
Who said
a couple of months ago at Pride, my mum, she had a short skirt on, with slits up the sides, serving at the bar. And my mum asked if she had a pair of knickers on.
This your mum asked Sandy?
Yeah. And she just lifted...
Your mum's a sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't your mum here?
Yeah,
Sharon, it's there. Yeah, go on.
And she just lifted up her skirt in front of the whole bar to show my mum that she had knickers on.
What does that make you feel?
I think it's cool the way she dresses, and it doesn't embarrass me because she looks really nice, and I hope when I'm her age, then I'll be able to wear that with...
What, you'd have the figure or the confidence? Both, of course, yeah, but the confidence as well, you mean. You think it takes confidence to do that at your aunt's age?
Yeah.
And you don't find it embarrassing, except on occasions when she flashes her knickers. What about you, Joyce? He must be a nightmare.
Well, sometimes it can be, yeah.
What do you mean, sometimes?
Well, sometimes he can. I mean, I wouldn't change him, but When he gets too much, I just go upstairs out of the way.
Do you? When does he get too much?
When he gets a bit over the top or he drives me nuts, I just go upstairs out of the way.
What does he do that gets him over the top, that gets over the top?
He messes about, he torments the dogs, he torments the cats, he'll torment me.
Cynthia, can you imagine living with something like this?
Well, I think it's attention-seeking, actually. And I know what to do with men like him.
Do you? What do you do with men like him?
Well, I'd smack their naughty bot-bots and start.
Yeah. What do you think generally about growing older disgracefully or gracefully?
Yes,
I mean, we're talking about Sandy and our friends at the back who goes night clubbing and Joe just behind you, all of whom say that they're quite deliberately acting younger than their age, if you like, and having, they say, a great time, a good time.
Well, I personally don't like mutton dressed as lamb, you know, and it wouldn't suit me, but I'd take her on any time. As you say, she has a nice face, so her, you know, the face is the important thing that I look at. And as I say, I think if you're going to worry about what other people think, you're not going to have a life at all. I'm quite convinced on that.
You worry about it. How would you feel if it was your family?
I wouldn't like it at all. I really wouldn't like it if he was doing that to me in public.
You wouldn't?
No.
What would you do?
I'd walk off.
I would like to ask the gentleman whether he does it for kicks or for his own childish amusement.
Ian?
Does he do it for a reaction from the public?
Well, part of it is
to make people happy, to make people laugh. If I don't make people laugh, then I apologise. And I always remember the people where I do my act in the clubs. And I always apologise and I say, I won't do that to you again, or I won't come to you again, and I'll never take my trousers off again in front of you.
Do you
But to the people what do like it, I say thank you very much, and when I give them my autograph at the end of the night, I know I've had a jolly good, brilliant night.
But it's you that's had the thrill, probably not the other people.
No, because when I get up next day, I think, what a good night, a brilliant night. What else can I put into my act? What other things can I make people laugh?
Do you apologise to your son? Do you apologise to your son? Because it's obvious your son's not happy with it. Does he?
Obviously, you don't apologise to me when I'm going down the street.
I mean, you said you'd
like
stop. You said you'd stop if someone doesn't like it. Your son doesn't like it in public, but you still do it.
Absolutely.
Can I just ask how old you are?
How old is he, Joyce? Joyce, how old is he? Come on, Joyce, how old is he?
How old am
55.
51.
No.
51. No, I knew I'd trap him. 51. 51. Should he be acting like that at 51 then? Hang on, my friend. Hang on, Mum.
No, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of the child in him. And I think that he wants to bring it out.
Yeah.
And I think there's a way that he could bring it out, perhaps by being in cabaret or something.
I've always been like this from the day I can remember. I can remember when I was 5 years old. I'm 51, and I used to go. I can remember when I went to school. At 5 years old, I can remember my mother taking me to school, and I can remember the first day, running around the classroom, taking all the pencils off the kids and the little notepads and chucking them all up just for devilment.
Oh, what a nightmare. What a nightmare. I mean, fancy that. I mean, that's a nightmare. I feel really sorry for you, Tony. I see you sitting there. You don't look very happy, actually. Are you not very happy?
Yeah,
I am.
I am. Yeah, I like going to see him.
He doesn't bring his girlfriends to my house.
I bet he doesn't bring his girl. I shouldn't think he brings anybody to your house.
Robert is like he's like Peter Pan. He's not grown up yet, and he made me laugh as soon as I walked in. I just looked at him and I just absolutely
Well,
because he's Freddie's star.
No.
Is that no? You
me?
No, yes, darling. As I say, you make me laugh. Since I saw you, I mean, it is like a Peter Pan act, I suppose. You haven't grown up yet. You probably do embarrass your son, but I don't think he's really embarrassed. You love him, don't you, dear?
I do, yeah.
You do.
What about the wife? Joyce goes to bed, gets out of the way. I mean, really.
I know she does, but so she loves him.
She's telling you love him. Chris, shall I tell you the truth? She's divorcing him tomorrow. She is. Aren't you, Joyce? Tell him the truth. I am joking, of course. And you know I'm joking, don't you? Because we're talking about growing old disgracefully. Growing old. And love. And love. Are we talking about love? We're talking about growing old disgracefully and whether or not you should. We've got some people who believe that, you know, you shouldn't. Life is starting to begin again. Like indeed Sandy, she said she started to have her life once the kids were off her hand and she started for the first time in her life doing the things she wanted to do, not taking any account of what other people thought or said about her. The families get a bit embarrassed, but it's not just about doing things you might think a bit wild. Some people do quite adventurous things, don't they?
Some people do. They call it adventurous.
What you do is adventurous.
The army trained me to be like that.
What do you do?
I was in Army Physical Training Corps. I was a gymnast.
What do you do now?
I do lots and lots of different things. Depends what I think up. Depends what other people might suggest to me. When I was 70 years of age, I done a 2-mile run, a mile swim, and an army assault course for my birthday. For my own ego, not for charity or anything of that nature. But after that, I thought, well, on each birthday, I'll prove to myself that I can do something of this nature. And I thought, well, why shouldn't? Because of Robert, I've hardly ever been ill in my life. I once had a toenail taken off in Africa. It took 2 days, etc., and after that, I was normal. How lucky I've been.
How old are you now?
79.
And you paraglide?
I parachute. I've done a 2-mile parachute on the 17th of July, six days before my 79th birthday. I've done a 2-mile parachute, tandem, mind you. I've done a bungee jump. I've done an abseil of 160 feet. 22 seconds going down, about 25 minutes to get back up. That should have been another event. And then on top of that, I walked on the wing of an airplane.
Walked on the wing of an airplane?
That was all in one day. What do you think of it? It was wonderful. The guy looked about 50 of the most. People are clapping for this, Richard, but in fact, when you all think about it, these companies that took me on the wing of an airplane, that arranged my abseil, that arranged my bungee jump, they're doing it for a living. If it was dangerous, they wouldn't do it. It's just a little bit of
no, it's changes. It's whether you can do it at your age, whether you're physically capable of actually walking down the plane of an aeroplane.
Not really.
The wing of a plane.
You're tied on. Yeah. You have a support behind you.
Oh, wouldn't you be worried about the rest of the family?
I would, yeah.
You wouldn't do this?
Well, no, I mean...
No, because you're too busy looking at women's legs, aren't you?
Yeah. Shares and legs.
Shares and legs. Shares as well. But is there any element of this where you think... Yes, Molly?
Well, I'm very old, of course, because I'm 87, and I've done quite a lot of these things since I was 80, and I think it's marvellous.
What have you done?
Children, well, I've done whitewater rafting, I've done ballooning, I've been in an air crash when the plane went down. I've done all sorts of things, but I think it's wonderful because when you're older, it doesn't really matter what happens to you because...
I beg your pardon? What do you mean it doesn't matter what happens to you?
You've got your children grown up and they've got their children, and I mean...
You mean you've got your grandchildren, like Jenny sitting alongside?
Yes, but they're very sad, but that thing, jolly good... When my daughter, I said to my daughter one day, what do you think Daddy thinks? My husband's been dead 10 years. She said, Mummy, he'll have the best chair in heaven, he'll have his whiskey on the side, his pipe in his hand, a smug grin on his face, I knew she'd cope. And I thought that was wonderful.
Ah, but you said more than that. You said it's not about coping. You said it doesn't really matter. Well, the implication was if something happens to you, it doesn't matter because you're 80, what, 5?
87.
87. But it matters to Jenny, doesn't it?
Well,
she's a selfish old thing, isn't she, Jenny?
Oh,
I'm sorry, John.
So. Okay. Yeah, but it would obviously be really sad if anything happened, but like I'd much prefer
something bad to happen whilst doing something amazing than her just like sitting in her house and at home. And like, if you, yeah, I reckon, because often there's all these exciting things you could be doing, and like all through your life you've got this responsibility and thinking about the future. But when you get to a certain age, where I know Gran thinks she's had an amazing life, and like you may as well, if you're going to take a risk at any time, you may as well. You can't, if you can't take risks when you're 80, when can you?
I think it's brilliant. I think what you do is brilliant. I think what you do is brilliant.
You've got to.
No, I think everyone should be allowed to do exactly what they want, however old they are. All I know personally is that if my nan had come up to me and told me she was going to be bungee jumping, I would do my utmost, my extreme most utmost to make her not do it, because I would not want. You say that you haven't got responsibility.
Get your hands off her.
Sorry, I just...
He can't stop touching you, Molly.
I'm sorry, I touched her a bit earlier.
Hear what she says. Hear what she said. I like it. I like it.
She's coming back with me later.
Are you still looking for a fella too?
No, I've got a whole lot of gay boyfriends in America. I go to, and they come and see me. They came for 7 hours the other day, all the way from America to see me.
Well, of course they would. But go on, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Seriously, if it was my nan that was doing it, I would try my utmost to try and dissuade her. Because you do have a responsibility. I mean, if my nan, God bless her soul, was to go on a bungee jump, and I'd said to her, yes, that would have been fantastic. You go and do that. You go and live your life. I would never ever be able to, because it's as you get older, your body becomes weaker. Now, that's not mentally. No, that's not mentally, and that's not within your soul.
It's telling you what your body's like. I mean, what a nerve! Hasn't he got to tell him?
Look at me, come on.
No, my life began at 72, and I'm 82 now, and I swim. I'm a master swimmer.
No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And I think as you grow older, you go.
And I'm stronger now.
And you're stronger mentally, but your body. No. You can't sit here and tell me that your body is the same as it was when you were 17 years old.
Wish it was.
And you
I'm physically better now at 82 than when I was 72. I was very, very old, and I could hardly move, put one foot in front of the other. But because I've taken up swimming, I've taken years off, not put on. I'm going younger. I had a birthday of 82 the other day, and when I went in my Keep Fit class, they had all balloons with 82 on it. No. And I said, no, 28.
I'm 75 years of age, and I've done 42 bungee jumps. The last two I did was the 16th of July on my 75th birthday from a cable car in Switzerland. I've done 33 bungee jumps in England, 4 in New Zealand, and 5...
Why?
Well,
who are you escaping from?
Old age. Old age.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh, is that... No, seriously?
Yes.
Oh, so it is a serious... You are actually... This is quite a deliberate thing. It's not like Sandy was saying, I want to now do the things I wasn't able to do and start my life or relive my life. You are saying this is an escapism.
We haven't long left. We may as well enjoy what we've got left.
Yeah, as I say, I've always had a fear of pegging out in an armchair or in a bed. Or,
so you want to make a mess on the bungee jump?
The thought of a sea of faces looking down at me, you know, all thinking one of the old parents has left me something in their will, in his will. But I'd much rather die hanging on the end of a bungee rope than I would. Yeah,
exactly. Is that how you'd rather die, Cynthia? On the end of a bungee rope rather than in bed?
Well, I've always wanted to end my old age by running an old folks' home for men only. Because
oh, hang on. Hear what Molly said?
Young men.
Young men.
No, elderly men, because I would make sure, because it's very good for the grey shirt sales, and I've proved it, I would bring in a striptease girl every week, you know, to liven them up. And, in fact, I went to an old folks' home in Margate last month, and I cheered these people up no end just by talking about it. And I feel this would be very good, actually. Mind you, I don't know whether the country would allow me to do it, but...
Well, Joe's taking his coat off already. Look at this. What are you taking your coat off for, Joe? When you're warm. Is it escapism? You do a lot of... You swim the channel, then?
My brother does.
Brother does.
Yes, he's swum the channel just recently. That's his 3rd attempt.
At what age?
65.
65?
65.
Yeah. And are you escaping old age, as Molly said, this is what it's about?
No, it was something I had to do, but I'm going to carry on now that I've got this fitness again. But I'm better for it. I'm healthier now. I had high cholesterol. We've got a cholesterol problem in the family.
Yeah.
My cholesterol's now down to 4.2.
Yeah.
I've gone off beta blockers. My blood pressure's down to normal.
This is because of the
And this
exercise.
is just because of the exercise, the swimming.
Do you... He wouldn't worry. He'd worry about his granny. He didn't use the words. Perhaps he did. I can't remember whether he said it was selfish or it was unfair because you are putting the rest of the family in fear and anxiety when these elderly, frail people start doing these dangerous exercises. They are dangerous exercises, aren't they? Dangerous exercise, dangerous pursuits. Do you feel that, in any sense, that he's unfair or unreasonable?
No, not at all. I think it's an inspiration to people of our age.
And to you as well?
For someone at 65 to train hard, dedicate his life for 2 full years and train so hard to swim the channel because he failed it. He failed it in his 20s.
Oh, right.
And he swum it at 65.
This is brilliant.
If you can get away with it, great. OK, it's not always comfortable being the oldest swinger in town, I think, as the song goes, but especially keeping fit and keeping young. I mean, it goes with it, doesn't it? I mean, who cares what's the date on your birth certificate? If you can make things happen and do these wonderful things, I mean, do it.
Would you do something like this, Sandy?
Yeah,
I mean, is this part of you?
Yeah,
Molly says escape is
own.
it's an escape for two things. Sorry, let's change the question. Not would you do those things, but are you also escaping old age? Because you make quite.
No, I'm not escaping.
She's young.
Anything.
She said she's young.
No,
she's 40 years young.
Well, of course she is. I suppose when you're looking at it from 86,
40
7,
years.
she's just a chick.
Oh, yeah.
She's a
younger
chick.
than my children.
She's younger than your children. Yeah, but you're not escaping it.
No.
He's not afraid of the years creeping up on you.
No.
There's no element of that.
No, there's just a whole life out there and it's for living and I want to enjoy all these things that are there.
Was there a point where you actually, there was this kind of transformation, this kind of on the road to Damascus conversion from the housewife and the mother to the gadabout, as it were?
Yeah, I split up in a relationship after 23 years. And that was 8.5 years ago and it's basically since then and I went off around the world with a rucksack on my own when I was 44.
Right. Where else?
Where?
What else did you do?
What else? Oh, well, I was snorkeling, scuba diving. I didn't do the bungee jump. I didn't have the courage for that. I wanted to do a tandem parachute drive, but the weather wasn't right at the time.
But all these were continued upon the breakup of that relationship?
No, I just started to find out who I was as a person. This was my life. I hadn't lived it.
Are
I'd
you
been a wife and a mother, and I
Okay.
wanted to be a person.
Well, a wife and a mother can be a person too. A wife and a
Well,
mother is
yes, but I didn't feel I was.
Okay. Are you a different person now?
Yes.
Tell me the person.
I'm happy with who I am. I'm comfortable with myself. I like myself.
Who are you?
Sandy.
You are saying, what you're saying, to use the kind of cliche or the trite cliche, you've discovered yourself.
Yeah.
You've found yourself.
Yeah.
And this is the real you then. The real you is the person dressed as you are now, which dressed for night.
Yeah.
That is you as you would have wanted to be. Does that mean that you've got regrets about the wife and the mother roles?
No, not at all. I have no regrets. That was then, this is now. I feel like I've been given a second life. And so that's what I'm doing.
Is that what anybody else of you feel, that you've had a second life? Is that part of it?
Yes.
That you've got... were you escaping the past age or...
No, I had a very serious illness, including cancer, and I was back and forth into hospital, and I was worried because I've only got one daughter who doesn't enjoy very good health, and I took up swimming really to get fit. And then, as soon as I won my first medal, it got me. And I've never looked back. and I'm years and years younger than when I started. I feel good.
You feel good. And is it the medals or the swimming and the physical exercise?
It's how I feel. I feel so healthy and strong. And when the doctor checks my pulse, he laughs. He said, "Your pulse is 56. It's better than Sebastian Coe."
Although I started a little younger, at 40, I got into triathlon through, first of all, running for charity. I suddenly thought to myself, I feel good. I feel totally different to what I did when I did nothing at all. But it has totally changed my life. I've now gone... Well, I've travelled. I've never travelled before until I got into triathlon.
Why does running make you travel? You mean you run around because you go to events?
Yes, because I go to events, which I wouldn't have dreamt of doing.
Why?
I was a very much, I don't know, I think I was a very much stay-at-home type of person.
Yeah.
So I'd been brought up, looked after my husband, not that he needs that much looking after.
Well, he looks like he needs a lot of looking after to me. So have you has she changed for the better, or have you had to change with her, or have you been left behind while she's been running around the world?
No, I'm 20 years older than Leslie, but I think in a lot of ways we've both changed for the better, because through seeing different parts of the country, and Leslie's seen different parts of the world, you get a different attitude.
What's the attitude?
It started you into thinking about getting fitter, didn't it?
Well, getting fit again.
Yeah.
I used to do quite a bit of sport when I was younger, and I left off. And when Leslie started doing triathlons, I was back into biking again.
Biking?
Well, he biked
cycling.
Cycling.
How old are you?
71.
So you bike while she runs?
Did at the
Oh, really?
with, yeah.
Oh, well, that's good, because you're together.
I mountain bike, I walk.
Yeah.
And I still work full time.
Yeah. What should we be doing when you're getting older? Is there a kind of...
What's this word, older?
He doesn't believe in it either.
I don't know. I'm asking.
No, you...
Is it... Move up for me a bit. Yeah. Is this... have we got a prejudice about how we think of people? I mean, what I'm asking, I'm trying to work this out. I'm going back to when attitudes have changed a lot, haven't they? In the last few years, we've become younger. We're not old anymore. You don't think of a man or a woman of 70 as being old anymore. No? No, we don't. It's changed, because we all live here, because you do what you do and he does what he does at the ages you are. So, but is there, having said that, do some of us still have a prejudice that because we're 50 or 60 or 70, there are things we shouldn't or cannot do, or there's a manner of behaviour which we should conform to?
Well, I teach in the gym, and I'm getting more and more older people coming into the gym saying that they don't feel right, they haven't got any energy, got no confidence, and hopefully if I can keep them going in the gym long enough, they change, they suddenly realise that they can walk down the street, feel good about themselves.
So the physical exercise, the physical fitness gives them confidence.
Yes, physically and mentally.
Yeah. I also think that there's quite a lot of people in this room now that when we were younger, when you got to be 65, you put your feet up and you lit your pipe, and that was that.
And
that attitude has now changed. Well, it's been obvious.
Life begins at 65. Absolutely.
It didn't at one time, did it?
It does today, though.
Oh, yes. Make it begin when you want.
Well, people have special diets, vegetarian diets, which are very important as you grow older. I live personally on 80% fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yes, I know.
I haven't eaten meat, haven't seen it for years. It doesn't bother me.
Are you poor then?
What's that?
I'm joking. What's that? He said. We're talking about changes in attitude. I'm sorry, my friend. You're all right. We're talking about changes in attitudes. Move up for me, my love, just a little bit. Got a lot of people here today. You've taken all the space. Is it a difficulty finding things to do when you're older?
Yes. Where I live, yes.
What's the problem?
Well, like I've got the local paper, and wherever it is, it's a long way from where I live.
Yeah.
So, and then if some of them, if you ring up, it's, oh yes, there is a trip, £13. Oh yes, there's another one, £20. Where do we get that money?
How old are you?
71.
And what do you want to do?
Well, I don't really know, but I'd like to join something and do something.
You want to get a life again.
Yes.
That's what you're saying, isn't it? You want to get a life. Just what we're saying here about you're not 65 or 70 and you've got to pack up and put your slippers on and watch the telly, because you wouldn't have a pipe, though, would you?
No, but...
but you want to do something.
Yes.
What could you do, John?
Well, there's so many things.
Dancing, swimming so far.
Joining something is, of course, is the best thing. I don't know how far you are from other organisations.
Battersea.
Battersea. You're in London. Everything's in London.
Yes, I know, but you look in our local paper and everything is quite a way to travel to get to it. There's nowhere right local
Well,
for us to
in
do.
central
swimming,
London,
yes,
yeah.
there's swimming.
In London, anyway, transport isn't a problem because you've got your travel pass. But there are so many organisations around which give you a chance to meet other people, and this is terribly important, to meet people, lots of people, and get some interest back. And there are spin-offs in a lot of these organisations. ARP has a centre in London.
No, but he's saying that, you know, age concern. I've done a survey for a hospital for cystic fibrosis because I suffer with my chest. And she said, oh, get in touch with age concern. So I did. And they said, well, all we've got is, can you push older people round in a pushchair?
Like, push yourself round in a pushchair. That's what she was saying. Yeah, do you want to push you round in a wheelchair? No, but that's what she meant, though, didn't she?
I don't know what she meant, but that's what she said.
Well, obviously, older people now must mean 90. What are you talking about? Molly? Molly?
Nearly 90.
Would you like my friend to push you around in a wheelchair, Molly? What can you do then? We've got to keep active. You've got to keep young.
Yes.
What do you do?
I've joined several organisations, but apart from that, I've done other things that I wanted to do. Last year, I went panning for gold in Scotland, and I also drove...
You what?
Panning for gold in Scotland.
That's what you wanted to do?
Yes, and I did it.
Oh, that's been a lifelong ambition, has it?
Yes.
Panning for gold in Scotland, yeah. Where do we get these people from? How can... No, I'm not going to get off the panning for gold in Scotland. Just hang on a minute. How do you kind of arrive at an ambition? A train driver, a brain surgeon, an astronaut, I can see all that. I can't see somebody waking up one morning and saying, do you know what my ambition is? To pan for gold in Scotland.
It just came into my head, literally, and I thought, yes, I will do it.
Right.
So I did
and you did it where?
Up in Scotland, in the River Mennock.
Did you find any gold?
Yes.
You're serious?
I'm serious. I found several little flakes, which I have named. You only get flakes when you pan in a river.
Oh, there's not going to be a gold rush
No,
then,
no, don't.
Oh, calm down, it's not there, don't worry about it. And that's what you had
I
done?
had it made in the form of a miniature pan, and the flakes of gold embedded in the bottom.
That's the ones in the bottom?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes.
How long did that take?
About 4 hours.
Right,
I was very fortunate to have a good tutor.
Right, and that's something... So you really got satisfaction, you achieved something there, that's important.
And I also drove a 17-ton Abbott tank.
What's an Abbott tank?
A proper, like a miniature...
Oh, like
not
a chieftain?
A chieftain tank.
Yeah.
An ex-army tank.
Where did you
17-ton.
Where did you drive that?
In Marshield near Wrexham, North Wales.
Why?
Wanted to.
Oh, you'd seen Margaret Thatcher at the Falklands, hadn't you?
No.
You had with that thing with a scarf on, with a tank and is that what it was? Kind of Boadicea?
Well, if you want to think that, yes. No. I really wanted to drive a tank.
Huh.
I thought it would be something different from a car, and it was.
So the thing is, you can do all these things. People
Yes.
can do all
Yeah.
these things. Can you? What should you be doing? What else can you do to keep yourself? Is it something you think about? Seriously, I've got to keep my brain cells working and my
brain
body.
cells. Brain cells, they're important. Keep those active, whatever you're doing, even if it's just gardening. But gardening, you can drift off all over the place, can't you?
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
Yeah, very often you garden in
yeah.
order to drift
Yes.
off. Yeah. But what do you do?
What I do? Oh, mine's very mundane compared to the Phil's. I'm just a tap dance fanatic. Yes. It's more of an obsession.
Did that start when you were older too?
Yes, when I was 59, I started that.
Why?
Well, it's something I'd always wanted to do. I always loved tap dance. I loved all the musicals, you know, in my youth. It saw me through my training as a nurse. I reckon it stopped me being off sick. You know, you weren't allowed to be off sick as a nurse in my day, and I used to go and see a musical if I could. In my day, yes, well, it was a long while ago. And I always wanted to tap dance. The opportunity came.
And you took the lessons.
Took it.
So in a sense, again, like a lot of our friends here, you're saying, At a certain age, you got to the point where you actually realised an ambition of something you wanted to do, whether it was panning for gold in Scotland or bungee jumping or paragliding. In your case, it was tap dancing.
That's right.
Is the fact that you all... Is it, I'm kind of addressing this question to you all, is it that you do these things when you come to a certain age because that's the age you are and you've got the time and the money? And it is
bit
that.
of money.
Or is it like Molly said, that it's escapism and you've got to do it now because if you don't do it now, you'll die regretting it?
Well, you want to do something you've always wanted to do.
It's what?
Well, just a bit of both.
It is.
Yeah. It's time, money.
You need the time and money,
And you need
of course.
and reasonable health.
And health. Well, health is probably the most important factor of the lot.
Yes.
To try and maintain sufficient health to be able to do these things. I'd really
But your
come
health
back
can
to a
improve
very
by doing
minor
it.
point that our friend here made. Well, two of you were arguing about it. Unfortunately, as we get older, the way I describe it is, I don't bounce as well as I used to.
Well,
We could put a bit of magic into that, couldn't we?
we certainly could. Well, I woke up one day quite conscious of reaching the big 6-0, and I wrote everything that I did on a piece of paper, everything that I did daily, and decided put it in a hat, and if at one point, and listen to my body, and if my body, when I pick the things out, if my body sort of went, oh yeah, I keep that, but if it sort of went, ooh, then I'd leave that. Like if somebody, I was always the person, if anyone wanted any curtains altering, Maureen will do it. And all those things I don't do anymore. And the things that were left, suddenly there was a big colourful picture. It was colour, fun, happiness, laughter, joking, comedy, communication, and all I could see was a clown. So I decided that I'd go off and get myself a few magic lessons and try and entertain people that way. And I got a few lessons and then went entertaining the old folks' homes, and perhaps 70% of them were.
Do you push wheelchairs?
I wouldn't mind that.
But so you become a magician?
Yeah. So I'm slowly learning a few tricks, and I go out and entertain kids or old folks. And
has this made you a different person? Swimming's made her a different person. She's changed.
Well, yes, it has, because it's given me a direction, because I didn't really have a direction. I've always worked, always sort of had a very demanding job in an office, and I just felt that I'd got to create something, because my husband always thought I was a nutter and never got involved in anything. So I'd sort of lived a life on my own, really, because we never did anything together.
But now you've got a life.
But I've got a life, I've got my magic to go into when I retire from work.
I think at the moment the world is our oyster. And I think a lot of people here grew up during the war when there was no opportunity to do anything at all. And that's why we feel a little bit rebellious. And I think...
Are you rebellious, Pam?
Very much.
Oh, really? What do you do?
Well, I was 72 weeks ago. I still work every weekend and talk to about 150 people in hospitality at a hotel. I've planted 300 bulbs in the local area. I went around all the houses and asked them if they would do it, and nobody was interested, so I did it. Because the council, the Royal Borough of Windsor and Maidenhead, were enhancing the areas, and I thought it would be nice.
To do that?
Set up a neighbourhood watch committee, which this lady at the back could do. She could also volunteer for a charity shop, which is very interesting.
Oh, you're going to have a full life, you are. We'll sort you out.
You meet lots of members of the public, and that will open up a vast new field to her, and she'll make new friends.
I just wanted to say that, obviously, I've grown up with Sandy. She's slightly older than me. Oh, no, actually, 5 years older than me.
Only your sister could say that. Only your sister could drop you in it.
And she's very much different now to what she was when we were children. And having listened to the other people in the audience, I just wonder if a lot of it is that people suddenly find the confidence that they never had before. They're comfortable with themselves.
That's right.
And like the young lady up there was saying, that she could see that perhaps people would be aggressive, but I think she's looking at it from a younger person's point of view. They haven't had life experiences and they don't have the confidence to...
It's true, and we all have life experiences, because we're all getting older, we're all growing older. That's the one thing we can't escape, isn't it? But as my friend Pam said there, the world's our oyster, and you should exploit it. and enjoy it. And perhaps it does come down to confidence, but in the end, if you're doing something that makes you feel good and makes you feel happy, then go for it. Do it now. Don't wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow might not come. Take care of yourselves. Thank you.
If you'd like to join Robert in a programme about revenge, call now on 0990 100 771. Have you taken revenge on someone who let you down? Was it an ex-lover or a friend who...
To their partners, which is what you did, isn't it, Suzanne?